Kim Shapira, thank you so much for being on Intrusive Thoughts today.
Thanks for having me.
So, hi, everybody. This is Adam Rippon. This is Intrusive Thoughts. Kim Shapira is here with us today. She's a Los Angeles-based dietitian, and she's the creator of the Kim Shapira method. It's 6 simple steps. We're going to talk about them later because I want to dig into it.
Okay.
And she's also the author of This Is What You're Really Hungry For.
Yes.
Okay. I'm dying to know what I'm really hungry for. This is going to be great. So actually, how we met was I've mentioned on this podcast that I am opening a medical spa. And I've been so lucky to be connected to so many different owners and different medical spa people and all of that. And so I went to a women's health seminar.
You sure did.
That you were speaking at on a panel. And it was all about talking about the what stage of menopause are you going through?
Yeah.
And I just want the listener to know that I'm the only man here. Okay.
Yeah.
And that when it did come to me, I did say, I don't want to brag, because we were all saying,
yes.
what stage of menopause are we going
100%,
through?
100%. Yeah.
And I went, I've got a good one. And I said, I don't want to brag. I've never had a period.
Yeah.
Which went over really well.
It did.
In a room filled with hot flashes pre and post.
You're right. You're totally right.
It went really well.
It did.
But I thought that you were so good on the panel.
Thank you.
And my life, as an athlete, has I've have so many things that involved nutrition and eating and things like that. And my relationship with food, pretty candidly, is so odd if I really think about it. And so I just remember I thought everything that you said on the panel, well, it was for this panel, obviously it was in regards to menopause, but it just was everything about health in general is so.
I hope so.
I took a lot away from it.
Okay, good.
1, that I never had a period. And 2,
we all got that.
Everybody did get it. Like I said, it really killed in the room.
Yeah.
Had to be there.
Yeah.
But I remember you were up there and I thought I had so many questions for you and I wanted you to come here. And when I saw you up there, you were from neck to ankle, full denim. Obviously, I'm going to trust every word you have to say.
Totally.
And before we get started, can you let us know a little bit of how did you get involved in this space? I have a theory that it's always people who get involved in this, it's never I just loved food. It's always a little bit of I need to fix something.
Yeah. Yes. First of all, we all pick careers and partners to master a trigger.
Oof. Woof.
Yeah. So I'm 52, but my story goes that when I was 12, I got sick.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 1986, very long time ago. And medicine was very different. And so I spent 5 years going back to UCLA every single week. So just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every week.
Yeah.
What was it? What were you going through?
Oh my God. It's that I don't never even share really, but you can imagine that I had 4 reconstructive surgeries. I was one of 8 people who had ever been born with this. So they didn't know what to do with me.
Okay.
Yeah. So they really didn't know what to do with me for the first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
People still don't know what to do with me. So that eventually.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel you on that, basically, is what I'm saying.
I felt like I was totally on an island by myself.
Okay.
Yeah. And now it's more common and it's crazy. But that's not even the important part. The important part is that I was really shy and really quiet and in so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was crying one day and my mom said to me, let's go shopping after your doctor appointment. You don't need to cry. And it was really great advice because she gave me a place to put my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have to stay in my body, which was not comfortable. And so every single Wednesday, like clockwork, we went to Bullock's, which was in Westwood. And the entire time I was at the doctor, and I had 4 male specialists and I was 12. So just, it's already a lot, you know? Yeah. So I would just think about what I was going to buy. And so a deep-rooted shopping addiction kind of took root. Took root? Yeah, that's the right thing. Yeah. And somewhere
the roots were planted. The seed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gardening.
Yeah.
Gardening addiction.
I was
which is a
watering
great
it.
place to start here.
Totally. Yeah, I was watering it. So in high school, a doctor mentor of mine told me that food can make a person sick or healthy.
Okay.
And so there's the fix, because I was so sick that all I wanted to do was be healthy. And I imagined that everyone did too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was wrong.
Wait, how were you wrong?
They wanted to be thin. They wanted to be told what to eat. They didn't want to pay attention to what was going on inside of their bodies. And so I didn't learn that straight away, but really, really quickly into my career. So I wasn't that interested in food. Food wasn't that important to me. I ate it when I was hungry. My mom had been restricted as a child, so we had everything in our house. So my house was the one that people would come to, and they would eat the whole box of like a Kudos bar or Twinkies. And like, I was like, no, I don't want that. It's always there kind of thing.
What's a Kudos bar?
I'm so old. It's like
No, you're so
like the original
young.
like bar, like protein bar or whatever. Like it was like a little it wasn't a candy bar, but it was like a snack bar. Okay. The original.
It's the first thing I'm going to like look up as soon as this is.
They were delicious.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust that if you said it in like succession to then Twinkie,
right.
that it's
same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. We had a lot of them in every flavor.
Was that like a conscious decision because you felt like restricted in the past that you were like, I'm not living this way anymore?
I never felt restricted.
Okay.
Yeah. I felt like isolated and in pain.
Mm-hmm.
And sick and like a victim mentality.
How did you go from there to then like the other side of it of trying to teach people how to eat better or live better or I mean, what is your philosophy or mentality?
Yeah. So books on tape had just become a thing in 1986.
Great invention, by the way.
Yeah. And my dad's in entertainment. He's a talent agent. Mm-hmm. And so somebody had gifted me this old man, like he was 200 years old, and he came and he sat down on my hospital bed and he told me how he cured himself of an incurable disease by laughing. And that was it. So like...
And that was me who said that to you. I said, listen, listen to this podcast. It's my podcast on tape.
Yeah. 15 minutes of laughter gives you 2 hours of like pain-free time is what he told me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really crazy.
Yeah. His name was Norman Cousins, and there was an entire building dedicated to him at UCLA. So he was like the original guy who was talking about neuroscience, but didn't know what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. And he was also talking about positive psychology. So one negative thought, you need 3 positive thoughts to erase what that does to you physically. Mm-hmm. So in graduate school, I kind of went back and studied the psychosocial dynamics of disability because I had one. You just couldn't see it. And I knew I wanted to help people. And so I started like having these little patterns kind of show up. And those were the threads, right? So it was Norman Cousins. It was this doctor. And then one of my first clients put her on a diet. She lost 30 pounds. And I'm like, I'm so good at my job.
Yeah,
you know, she got
I'm a
off
genius.
She got off her medicine. Like, this is what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And then she told me she was going to gain the weight back because her husband wanted to have sex with her all the time. And she had been molested as a child. And so that was like the moment where I was like, okay, I'm actually hurting people.
So is that the correlation is basically like because she has this weird, well, not weird, but she has this bad relationship with sex, she copes with it with food? Is that? I'd started to take hold. Like I started to kind of understand it back then. But again, this is like 1997, right? And so I was very new at this. And again, like food was supposed to make us healthy. So eat some kale and you know what to do, right? God, it's so much more layered.
It's so layered. And you're dealing with everyone's thoughts and you're dealing with everyone's ideas and everyone's diet and everyone's expectation. And nobody focuses on themselves. And I wasn't doing that. So what had happened is I started seeing that my clients were eating the same way that I was shopping. And so
addiction.
Yes. Yes. And everyone's like, you shop a lot. And I'm like, no. What are you talking about? I don't do that. I don't have any money in the bank, but like I'm definitely going shopping. Like, you know, I didn't see it.
What was, not to take us off track, but what were your go-to things to shop for?
Anything.
Okay.
Everything.
You just needed to hear the cha-ching. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, every paper I wrote was on the cha-ching. Every paper.
Yeah. I mean, it really is so much. It's more complicated than we really think it is. Because even when I was getting ready to speak with you today, I was just trying to think about like my own past like relationship with food.
Tell me everything.
So my background is like I am a former athlete, and I would not consider the way that I ate to have like I wouldn't consider myself to have like an eating disorder. Because at least in my mind, when I think of like eating disorder, I think of like you look in the mirror and you go, I hate myself. I don't like the way I look. I need to fix this. Yeah. And this is like maybe like I'm being totally ignorant.
Let's revisit that.
Well, okay. Pin in it.
Okay.
I was always, because in my sport, there are two components to being like to being a figure skater, is that like lean is a look, but it's also a function where if you're leaner, there's, less things to catch wind when you're spinning in the air. Yeah. It's just, you can move faster if you're leaner and thinner. And I remember the first time I had a coach who told me that like I needed to lose weight, and I was 17. And it was just this like very like jokey way of like, I don't know how you got so fat. And I, was like, oh yeah, I don't know how it happened either. And it continued. And I worked with tons of different coaches from Eastern Europe, North American coaches, Central Europe. So it was not like a cultural thing in that respect. It was more of like in the skating culture ethos of like, be as lean as possible. Yeah. And I think that I never wanted to be somebody who like starved themselves. So I never was doing that until I moved to California and I had like no money. And so being poor was like the best diet I was ever on, because I couldn't I had to like pay for my ice or pay for groceries. Right. And I was like, well, you don't need groceries to skate. Right. And so I remember that when I moved to California, I first moved to Lake Arrowhead.
Oh, interesting. That makes sense.
There used to be a big skating.
I grew up there. Yeah.
And so there's like there's nothing up there except like you would become a member of the hotel to go to the gym.
Yeah. Love that hotel.
And it was like $40 or $50 a month. But they had apples and they had Tazo tea for free. So I'd go in there with a backpack and like throw all the apples in. And they just go to Stater Brothers with no skin off their nose. Right now. They're just going to go buy more Tazo.
No problem.
And so I was just eating like apples. And then I started to lose, obviously, weight. I'm like, and that's the podcast. That's how you do it. And so I and it started to correlate where I did actually start to skate better. But it was also like, it's this horrible combination of a few things happening at once. I was skating with a good coach and like really motivated and working really hard. I was becoming leaner, but I was getting praised for getting better. And I was like correlating it to being leaner. I never took it to a point of I felt like it's dangerous, but I did absolutely go on like crazy diets. And this is where I'm like, I don't know if this is like an eating disorder or for like a personality disorder where I would be like, yeah, I'm not eating anything.
It's not a flex, but I get you.
I know that now. Yeah. I know that now. Yeah. But I remember some of the like crazier things that I did where I don't know, like what the craziest diet I was asked to go on was tomatoes.
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
Just tomatoes. Why, right?
I mean, who in the world?
I can tell you who, but it won't matter. And then I said, like, I thought that I was going to just like pass out every day.
So sad.
It's so crazy. Yeah. And so then like I would put myself on these like more restrictive diets of like I'd have a few slices of bread and then a whole bottle of kefir. And so it was just like I'd have kefir, just a bottle like every day. Yeah. And I think that there's been a real change in like our sport and the way people talk about like food and body image and everything. This is still, I'm talking maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, was totally different. Yeah. Still.
I agree.
And so I remember like we'd have like Team USA camps and we would meet with like a dietitian or a nutritionist. And I would like very proudly be like, nope, I'm not going to be eating that. I'll just be having kefir. And like walk out of there with my bottle of like warm yogurt at this point because I've been holding it all day.
Yeah.
It eventually does catch up with me. Like the problem is that I eat like this. I get better. I got better. I kept getting better. Because I think the human body can just like withstand so much until a point.
Yeah, I think you're right. But I am curious about the intrusive thoughts, like what came first. Because when you are restricting, you go into full temper tantrum, right? Like I always use the example, if I tell you I'm going to allow you to pee one time today and I'm going to pick that time, we would immediately become anxious.
See, I always got to this point of like, anytime I started, this is, I think, where it gets like, oh, okay. I started to like connect the feeling of hunger to working hard. And it felt like I was like...
You bonded it.
Yeah. And it was like, I'm working so hard. And anytime I'd feel that like hunger, if I could just push it a little bit more, I was like getting closer to the goal.
Yeah.
And I always told myself, like, I knew that this was like not right. But I was always like, when you're done skating, when you're done competing, you'll address it and you'll eat normally. This is just what it takes.
Yeah.
It ends up catching up with me where it's like a year before the Olympics, I break my foot, like just walking. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's no nutrients. And I like start working with a nutritionist at the Olympic Training Center. I think that like I was the healthiest version of myself when I was at the Olympics.
That's good.
But not the leanest and not like the best shape. I say like in quotes, right? But I would not have made it to the Olympics in the shape that I was in my best shape in.
Yeah. And I like the quotes. And I'm just curious, like, would you have done better or worse, like when you're even comparing your weight at that time?
Maybe I would have been able to do more technically. I like definitely watered it down by the time I got to the Olympics. But I mean, I skated as well as I wanted to. Like I did everything I wanted to do. Yeah. But if I look back on my career of like when was I in the, and again, like best shape of my life, it was probably like a year before I broke my foot and 2 years before the Olympics.
I'm just curious if it's possible that you haven't even gotten to the best shape of your life yet.
All right. And I think that's it on the podcast today. I mean, that's a crazy. So like, I think that when I make it through the Olympics, I'm like, okay, time to like be normal. And so I like eat, I just like don't have the restrictions anymore. Cause again, like I never saw myself as like eating disorder. And my husband, boyfriend at the time, he's 6'4". He can eat like a fucking truck, whatever the saying is. He like doesn't have any issues with eating. He eats a few times a day. And he saw the way that I was eating, was like very worried by it.
Yeah.
I'm like, nice. It's fine. Whatever. It is nice.
Yeah.
So I relaxed with it. And I think that like when it comes to men and women, leaving the sport or changing like their mentality from like being a competitive athlete to not, I think men have it easier because we can go like, oh, I'm bulking. I want to get bigger in a way that I couldn't as an athlete. And I think women are always put in this box of like thin or nothing.
Right.
And so I was able
to love my body and be overweight.
Yeah, exactly. I'm positive about it.
Yeah.
Which like that felt like the craziest thing to ever be positive about your body.
Imagine.
I couldn't.
Imagine loving your body.
Yeah. And so I definitely eased up on the restrictions, and I was just like, obviously not as active as I was before. So when I was competing, I was at like at 150. Not that I remember the exact numbers, but 150.2. And I eventually found myself over the last few years hovering around again, I'm not obsessed about it, 168 to 172 range. My husband is from Finland, and he likes to go to Finland over the summertime. He'll go for a few weeks. I'll catch him at the end of the trip. And he's always, so I think that like sometimes I just like don't connect like, oh, eat breakfast. I'll just do it later, eat lunch. So he's always been on me of like, we're going to eat now. You have to eat. Okay. So I, get up to the 68, 72. I'm like, it's no whatever. That's just life, baby. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? I think it's time. This is about 3 or 4 months ago. I think it's time to kind of like, let's buckle down. And so recently I've lost like 18 pounds. And I think I've obviously lost a lot of the muscle that I had when I was competing. Like my legs are almost like half the size.
Well, that makes sense.
And so the number is just a fascinating thing to me. I don't look at it and I don't.
Well, I'm curious, when you look at the number, are you just looking at that number? Or are you looking at your muscle mass, body fat, and body water?
Just the
metabolic
number.
age? Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't.
You need to get a new scale or throw that one out.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This interview is getting expensive.
No, they're like $19.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it.
It was just,
And the mental health that you're going to gain is like insane.
Right. There's no cost
No.
to the mental health I'll gain.
No.
But I think like my relationship with food is just weird because even when my husband and I talk about like the holidays, the first thing that he says is like, oh my God, I can't wait for Christmas or whatever, because we make all of this food with his family and stuff. And I can't wait to make all the food. And I didn't even think about it. And I said, oh, well, I can't wait for the holidays because I'm going to do my famous trick of losing weight during the holidays when everybody else gains it.
That's funny.
And I'm like, oh, God, that can't be good.
So funny that, you jumped into that thought. But the reality is he's like, he wants to make the food.
Yeah, which already feels dangerous to me.
Yeah, I get that. But it's not about the food. Like there's so much anxiety around it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm even curious, like as you were getting older and you were, participating and getting ready for the Olympics, what happened to your anxiety?
Again, it's like nothing is so like black and white because I had broken my foot the year before.
Which is terrible.
And I just told myself, like, let's just see what we can do because I was an alternate to the team in 2010.
Okay.
Then did not make the team in 2014. And by the time I was going to be 28 to try to make that team, which at that time, when I did make the team, my teammates were 17 and 18.
Yeah.
It's like I was like the oldest first time Olympian since like the 1920s.
Wow. That's amazing.
Well, it also comes with this like there are no expectations. And I just was like grateful that I was able to do it and like be there.
Yeah.
That I did not have like a lot of anxieties when it came to like eating or food or weight, because at that time, that 150 was like I could kind of do anything and I wouldn't go above or below it.
Yeah.
It was a pretty solid number that like I just checked. I think in the past, I had looked at the number and would be worried if it was like higher. But I always, and I still think it's important that like athletes weigh themselves so they know a number, but they need to be honest if they're performing better at a certain number that might be higher than they think. Because I did have coaches who were like, there's this one math problem we do, and that's how we get it. It's like, you take your height in meters, you subtract the day of the week, you spell out, what's your mother's maiden name, you add that all together. And then it's like this. I remember I did whatever math problem it was. And my trainer looked at me and was like, this is your ideal weight for your height.
Wow.
And it was like 125 pounds.
Wow.
Which maybe my leg was.
Right. I don't even think you would have had the right amount of muscle to do what you needed to do anyway.
No.
Or strength or energy.
No.
And that would have affected almost every one of your organs, especially your mind and the ability to think. Mm-hmm. Rationally or irrationally.
I mean, totally.
Yeah.
So I think at the Olympics, I felt like I was doing what the dietitian and the nutritionist from the Olympic Training Center was how they were guiding me. I was still like on my own, which is how it, that's how it is. But I was following their like rules. So I felt like, I think when you're an athlete, you also are so inclined to seek guidance and follow rules and structure from like authority.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so then if you're following the rules of somebody who like knows better, I always felt like the relief of stress.
Yeah, that's good actually. Okay. But performing also didn't feel like you were just like natural. You didn't feel anxious every time you got on the ice.
No, this is like,
wow.
I definitely had moments of like, I'm feeling like anxious or like I have like anxiety or whatever. But again, like it really is so convoluted where it was like I would be the oldest one at a competition by 10 or 8 years. So anytime I'd feel nervous, I'd like look around and I'd see these younger kids and I'm like, they have no idea. Like they don't really know. So it's not that serious. And so I had all of these little things around me to kind of take away any sort of anxiety I would feel.
Okay. That makes sense.
And I'm a master like idiot. Like I can truly manipulate myself into like whatever I want myself to do.
And you always could do that?
I think whenever I reassociated the anxiety with adrenaline. And I would say, okay, adrenaline is this thing where like a mother can pick up a truck off of a baby.
Yeah.
And so this adrenaline thing is a good thing. And so I would associate it in a positive way.
I see that.
You are reading I am nuts.
I don't think you're nuts.
Okay.
No, not at all. I am curious if you're in your body though.
When I'm hearing myself, I'm going, probably not. I'm in a body.
Yeah.
But maybe not my own.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you have to be in some capacity, but at the same time, like you're already thinking ahead and like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I like met you and when you told me your podcast, the name of it, I was like, oh, I totally get you in like so many ways. Cause somebody either has OCD or anxiety when they have that. Name
present.
And I mean, who doesn't have it? It's my baseline anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I always think about anxiety too. Even when you're asking the question, I'm still thinking like, well, isn't everyone always anxious?
Yes.
They are, right?
Especially right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's getting worse and worse by the day. So
with kind of no sign of ever getting better at this point.
Right. And so that's why like I love teaching people how to be back in their bodies anyway.
Well, what do you teach them? AKA, what would you tell me? Because I actually have a lot of people who like call in or like they leave messages. And I think because I was an athlete, I have a lot of people who ask me about like, I'm trying to eat healthier. What do you do? What do you like recommend?
Yeah.
I wrote down my favorite message from somebody and it said, I'm getting fat. Please make it stop. Thank you.
Aww.
Been there.
Yeah. I just want to hug that person.
I know. We love our listeners. But I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, I still feel like, I don't feel like I have like I'm scared of food, but I definitely don't have any sort of like emotional attachment to it. Like I've actively worked against feeling anything about it.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, especially if you're mostly in your mind.
That's where I am.
Yeah. But like the person who asked that question, even like thinking about being healthy, like they're looking for answers outside of themselves. And it all is about coming back to our body and understanding what we're feeling, and being able to deal with that feeling.
The title of your book is like, what are you really hungry for?
Yeah.
What am I hungry for?
What do you
Kim?
think? Like, what do you think?
I don't even know. I mean, if I had to answer, I truly am like a Red Bull and Gushers.
It's not food.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah, Red Bull and Gushers. That's funny.
It's good, though.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. No, it's peace.
Good night. What?
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, we're hungry for peace around our relationship with food and nutrition and our health, more importantly.
Yikes.
We want to be around and we want to stay well. I have a lot of male clients, interestingly enough, and they have a lot of disordered eating. And it's a lot of shame around being a man and having this kind of eating habit. But one in particular, he got his doctor to give him a GLP-1 and he was already thin. And his wife is very upset because he's 144. He probably needs to be 170. And he fell the other day. And I was like, you need a trainer. You need muscle. Like, this is no joke. And he probably he looks like he aged about 10, 15 years. Mm-hmm. He's not thinking 10 or 15 years ahead or 30 years ahead, and his world is full of anxiety right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's really tough.
So we're hungry for peace.
Oh, I mean, that's so.
You hate it?
I do. I mean, here's the thing. I get it, but and I want to hate it, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Because if I have to think about myself for just one second, if I just think about myself, I think that like I would do what somebody told me is healthy.
Yeah.
Like if there was like a roadmap, like again, like if there was instructions of like eat, because I could eat the same thing every day and not care.
Me too.
So if there was sort of like, this is just do this, I would do it. And I don't think I would feel, like if there was something like, hey, I want to be more tone or something, I would address that in another way. Like I would address that by working out more or being more active or something like I would address it in another way aside from, well, I know that this is right.
Right. That makes sense.
So what do I do, Kim? What do we do from here?
Well, first we have to get inside of our bodies and we have to love ourselves. There's a great quote from Perks of Being a Wallflower. It says, we accept the love we think we deserve. And I think like, there's been many times in my life where I'm like, I can't believe I loved myself so little that I would allow myself to be in these situations. That's
a crazy way. I mean, it's like very true, but it's a crazy way to now reframe that in my own mind.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, if I cared about myself.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're a professional.
I try to be sometimes.
Yeah. Actually, that like leads me to another question of, we were just talking about like people being nervous about, obviously we're living at a baseline of anxiety of everything like going on, which makes me really feel, it makes me think about like the Maha movement and the pseudoscience that's become like really popular.
Yeah.
And sometimes like I'll see these people online talking about like the one thing that really makes me want to like pull my hair out is like the raw milk stuff and everything. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Is it like good intentions gone like completely skewed the wrong way? It's the Maha stuff scares the shit out of me.
Why?
It scares the shit out of me because even as somebody like I've just like spilled my guts on like on how my relationship with like food and health and like whatever. But at the end of the day, like I want to follow like the science.
Yeah.
And there's something about like the research and the science. And what scares me is this like mistrust in it. And people are willing to, because they mistrust it, are like willing to go this completely other direction of like, no, we already figured out that like we should be pasteurizing the cheese.
Yes, 100%. We need to do that. Yes.
How do you think we got here?
Fear.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we make all choices from a place of trust or fear. And so you kind of said it, like people are not trusting. And I get that they're not trusting, but again, they're not going back into their own bodies and like listening to what they think is right or wrong or like understanding what's going on. Let me rephrase that. I can't tell you how many people I know that chew gum and don't believe that the gum is related to gas and bloating, even though it kind of says it on the label.
Excuse me?
Yeah. And so many people.
Because you're chewing in air and stuff?
And because of the ingredients inside of the gum. What I'm really trying to say to you is like, people will say to me, I am not well. I have diarrhea all the time. I have bloating. I have gas. I'm burping. I get headaches. And we'll go through what they're eating. We'll fix any, food sensitivities. We'll look at their lining of their gut health. And then I'll say, do you drink anything with like fake sugar or do you chew anything like gum or mints? And they will totally deny. And sometimes I'll catch them. They'll be on, they'll be with me and they're chewing gum. And I'm like, there it is.
Oh my God. And you're like staring right at me. I've been like farting the whole time. I'm like, no way. That is crazy.
Yeah. So I think that sometimes
it's everything.
We don't hear or see like what's right in front of us a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like celery juice, people are like, I'm having so much success, losing weight because they're really having diarrhea.
Okay. I was just going to say, I've done the celery juice and I've felt no closer to death.
Yeah.
Than the first morning or two I've done. One, because the medical medium, are you, first of all, crazy?
Yes.
That spirits are telling, okay.
Yes.
Whatever.
I mean, I do love spirits. I
love spirits.
I love it.
But they've never told me that just drink a bunch of celery juice.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think people need to, I mean, I can't get everybody to listen.
But there is something, and
dangerous.
It's so dangerous. And I'm not playing devil's advocate, but there is something sort of like, oh my God, this is the answer.
Right.
Of just the celery juice.
Because people feel like they've failed so many times and they don't really have any proof that they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because they failed every single time. And so if I'm telling you can do celery juice, then your willpower is like, yeah, I can do that for 3 days or 5 days, right? They don't have to rely on inner power, on inner strength. They don't have to change.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to believe in themselves because this is the answer. But then the second they become emotionally triggered, they can't do the celery juice anymore. And they don't know how they fell off. They don't know what went wrong.
Yeah. I know why I fell off because I was like, I don't think there's any
liquid
in my body. I was going to shrivel up to a raisin.
That's terrible.
It is terrible. I mean, I was like, this can't. There can't be that many heavy metals in my body.
No. And we have 37 trillion cells that need fuel.
That is so many.
Every single day.
That is so many.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. It's so funny that you brought up the celery juice. I was completely on that. Nothing has made me feel, like I said, knocking on death's door.
Yeah. I don't know why people are. Yeah, I actually was listening to your podcast and it was so funny about TikTok. And then you're like, but we're not authentic on Instagram.
Yes. Well, I know.
I'm like, that is so funny, actually.
It's so true, though. I see so many of these, and I have obviously been susceptible to here's the thing also, where with a lot of this pseudoscience stuff, for a while, I would say, let's go back 10 years.
Okay.
It was fun. This was fun. Let me try this for a week. And then we go back to it. I think all of this was just supposed to live on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it wasn't supposed to go anywhere else. And now it's creeped its way into it still even blows my mind about you have people I don't believe in vaccine. Yeah. I want to go back to the way it was. And I'm the way it was you'd be dead at 35.
This is what I do not understand.
Our ancestors.
The secondary infections of not getting some of these things would be very, very disastrous. Right?
Right.
Not good.
That's what I don't understand of our ancestors lived this way.
Right.
And I was yeah, they first of all had just got thumbs. And
True.
Second of all, just learned how to make fire. And third of all, would be dead, drop dead, middle age at 15.
Yeah.
And dead at 30.
They would have. You're right. 100%.
So what do you mean our ancestors lived this way? I would not want to live like my ancestors.
No, not at all. I mean, no, but it's weird because now I'm thinking about spirits, back to spirits.
Uh-huh.
I'm
it always goes back
my
to
grandma's
spirits.
phone number totally popped in my phone today. So anyway.
Really?
Yeah, really random. I mean, she hasn't been alive for 20 years. So anyway.
She's here. And I think she's
here.
like, okay. I hear you on the raw cheese.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the food.
Uh-huh. It's intrusive. It's contagious.
Yeah, it is actually. But it's weird because I have 3 daughters.
Uh-huh.
And so I've been very careful raising them. Nobody can come into my house and use the word calories or fat in a way that is describing anything negative. It's really interesting.
What do you think is a negative way of using? What's a positive way of using calories? Of this has 100 calories, just saying it? That's a positive way.
Of course. Actually, the first chapter of my book uses the word, it's just about fat and calories and how we think about it and diet, right? Because it's so triggering. But the fact that we need them, that it's so important just to survive. And don't we want to be alive?
Yeah. I mean, it's so... It's so interesting because I think like I'm even taking myself as an athlete out of it, but like now as like a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always think of like, oh, you don't want like fat, burn the fat, no more fat.
You know, your body does that naturally. Like it's amazing that you broke your ankle. Was it ankle or foot? So it was like a tight. Yeah. Okay. So you broke your foot and it healed.
Yes.
That's amazing that your body can do that. And if we just kind of sat back and recognize like my body heals if I sit back and give it the support it needs, we heal.
Yeah.
We heal.
I mean, it's amazing and a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah. And like people who have a slow metabolism can have a fast metabolism tomorrow. It's not like a permanent thing.
Can you explain that? Like, how does that? So I later wanted to ask you a little bit of like some of these like myths.
Yeah.
Or misconceptions, or maybe these are like things that are real. Of one of them was metabolism. Of like, I have a slow metabolism. I have a fast one. If I don't eat, I'm gonna ruin my metabolism. What?
All true.
First of all,
true.
What is a metabolism?
Good question.
Can we ruin it? Can we fix it?
Just like we heal. Yeah.
Okay.
So a metabolism, think about like a stovetop with 6 burners.
Mm-hmm.
As an athlete, you had all 6 burners on.
Yes.
Like you're on fire, right? So
completely correct.
If you put anything on that stovetop, it's melting.
Uh-huh.
If you stop exercising and you stop eating, you turn those burners off and suddenly you're not burning at that same rate. So the only thing that we need to do to get it burning at that same rate would be to be eating often and to be moving often.
Mm-hmm.
And we fix it just like that.
It's just like that?
It's just like that.
I think
it's just like that. So like even when you look at somebody who just recently started a GLP-1,
mm-hmm.
right, which is a normal hormone that all of us have in our body.
What are your thoughts on the GLP-1?
I mean, they're not going anywhere.
Right. And I think that they're like very helpful. Yes.
Yeah. Blood sugar is the link to like longevity and increasing like our health span. We want to be well for as long as we can,
mm-hmm.
you know, so we're probably all going to be on one
mm-hmm.
is what I think for many different reasons. I mean, you're finding it helpful in addiction or, you know, metabolic diseases, for weight loss, but it doesn't heal an unhealthy relationship with food.
Yeah. Peace does.
Yeah.
As I learned.
Peace actually does.
Yeah.
Trust in that does.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you think that we'll all be on?
Yeah. Like currently 9 million people are on one. In the year 2030, it's predicted 30 million. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Very, very low doses to increase our health span, I believe.
Now, maybe you can, not maybe, you'll obviously be able to give a better description of it because I have friends who have taken it or are on it. And they describe it as like basically they're just not hungry and they feel absolutely sick at the thought of having food.
What was their weight like before they started taking it?
I mean, 2 of the people I'm thinking of, like they should have just gone for a walk and they would have lost the weight.
Yeah.
And one of the people I'm thinking of, they had weight to weight to lose.
Okay, so let me explain this. Back to the burners, right? When you have weight to lose, you probably have a history of losing and gaining.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you lose, you're losing water, fat, and muscle. And every time you gain, you're most likely gaining fat, making you fatter than when you started. This slows your metabolism because body fat requires 1 calorie per pound to sustain itself, where muscle, depending on the size of the muscle, could be up to 25 or 50 calories per pound to sustain itself. Okay, I'm making up that number right now because I don't know the size of the muscle.
Okay. I'm not checking. Believe me, I'm here 100% with you.
Okay. So I'm not
going, I don't think so. I'm with you.
Yeah. So if somebody had gained and lost weight and they have high body fat, so for a man, it's over 18%. Mm-hmm. In Kobe Bryant's heyday, he was 3%. If a woman is higher than 24%, then she has higher body fat. Mm-hmm. Every 1% of body fat over where you should be is about 3 pounds of extra fat. So if someone is 27% body fat and they're a woman, they need to lose at least 3%. That's about 9 pounds of fat to increase their metabolism. Okay. So that's why you need a different scale so you can pay attention to what's really happening inside. Mm-hmm. So what happens with the GLP-1, And what happens with eating is if we know that food is fuel, and some people like to fight me on that, like they're really like,
how
no.
do they fight you on that?
They're like, no, it's comfort and joy. And I'm like, well, that means that you're not actually really present and irrational, right? Our irrational mind totally rationalizes food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if that's the case and you're hungry or you're taking a GLP-1 and you have body fat that's too high, what ends up happening is you weren't actually as hungry as you thought to begin with. That was more emotional hunger. Okay. And so now the second we become like emotionally triggered, it like kind of flips our mind.
Mm-hmm.
And so we go from rational thinking to irrational, but it tips off the hippocampus. And the hippocampus is our memory center. So it remembers the last time you felt this stress or angst or whatever it is, you ate and you felt better. So the GLP-1 quiets that.
Okay.
So that people are no longer thinking of food when they have emotional like triggers.
Oh,
so now
okay.
they're actually able to understand their hunger from ghrelin, which is a hormone that kind of tells you you're ready to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And they're understanding leptin, the hormone that tells you you're satisfied, because their GLP-1 is harmonizing in sync. And so we're not getting that like flipped off energy. Now we're like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. What do I do when I'm stressed? And we can reparent ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But restricting in any way or under eating, like let's say, like I said earlier, it's not a flex to undereat. And if you're starting a GLP-1 and you're not hungry, that's not a flex.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to actually slow down your metabolism. You want to make sure you're eating every 3 hours.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about that. That's real?
Say more. Say more. Ask more. What do you mean?
Okay. My husband is like always like eating all the time.
Yeah.
I think in my mind, when I like see him eating, I'm like, that's a like just a ravenous animal. But it's not, he's not like eating like a Thanksgiving fucking buffet, right? Like he is like, I need to eat like multiple times a day. And I like, I'm so sorry I'm about to say this. Well, sometimes like...
Let me brace myself.
Yeah, hold the table. I'll sometimes wait, or I'll eat a little bit, but I'll save it. I'll save my calories. I can already tell. I'm looking in your eyes.
I'm not
and you're
having
going, you
no
don't
eye contact
love
with you.
yourself. I'll save my calories for the night. Oh, God. I'm hearing myself. And I'm going, I don't think so. So, okay, what does that do? What am I doing to myself? Be honest.
So are you saying that the weight that you've recently lost, you've kind of changed some of your habits and you...
I'll say, okay, the weight that I lost, what I did was I set myself up to not fail.
Okay.
And what I did was I took any sort of guesswork or like anything out of it. I spent one day chopping like 2 heads of fucking cabbage. I got 2 giant things of like mixed greens, whatever.
Yeah.
I would go to Costco and make like all 17 steaks at once.
Okay.
And I would have everything, and I'd basically be running a sweet green out of my refrigerator. Like I would, like again, I don't really feel any like connection to the food.
Okay.
So I'd like wake up, we're making a salad. Then I might have another, like a yogurt for lunch. And then I'm having another salad for dinner. And I just like repeated that for, JP was away for like 2 months. I did that for like 2 months straight. And because I think I was just like also enjoying food for the first time.
Oh.
So I was like, it's time to like buckle down, but like, let's not be weird about it. But I think as soon as
Did JP know you were doing this? It was like a conversation you guys had?
Well, because another thing is like, if I
don't want to stir the pot here.
No. I didn't tell him because it wasn't something I was like doing on purpose. I was doing it so that like I could make sure, because I knew if he's really the one in our relationship who's like making the food.
Yeah. Okay.
And I knew that like if I didn't set myself up to like make have food made and ready for me to like get and grab, I would probably just like skip eating.
Okay.
Just out of like, I don't want to deal with it.
Okay.
And so I set myself up so I didn't do that. But then I was also like, no, I wasn't having like the fun soup with a bunch of fucking like cream cheese in it that he's making, or like I just was having like a very lean diet.
Yeah.
And I started to lose the weight that way, which then, starts like get the hamster wheel going again of like, we can go harder, where I'm like, okay, we got to like.
Yeah. I'm so glad I met you when I met you.
It's honestly, it's like divine timing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. There's so much to discuss, but how hungry do you get in the evening? How hungry do you get?
Okay, if I eat breakfast, because sometimes now it will just come to the point of like, oh, I guess I didn't eat it. I'll just wait. Mm-hmm. So it's not like a conscious decision. Maybe it is. It's not a decision I'm making of like I'm waking up and I'm like, no breakfast for you, bitch. Like I'm not doing that. But sometimes I'll get to a certain point where it's like, oh, I guess I didn't eat anything. It's like 11:30. Let me just wait a little bit.
Why wait?
So that I can have like the dinner. Mm-hmm. Why wait is a great, okay, yikes.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's so true. Why am I waiting?
Yeah. Like if you pee now, is that like, that's it for the day?
Yes. And I'm done with my pees for the day. It's just one big one, right?
Right.
Okay. That's definitely a crazy, completely amazing way to think about it. Yeah. I'm waiting for no reason.
Yeah. I mean, like, do you ignore when you're tired? Do you ignore when you're thirsty? Do you ignore like when you're angry?
Like, yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah. When I do start to feel hungry, I'm like, just wait. You're not going to like this. Not that you've really been enjoying everything I've been saying. I'll go and have gum.
Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. Do you get gassy?
No.
Really? See, I'm not sure if you do or not.
And I said no, and I felt like if I was doing the Vanity Fair lie detector test, fail. I'm sure.
I mean, I need to know, so you're going to have to let me know.
Yeah. Let's go with yes.
Yeah.
How could I not be?
I think you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's 100% certainty that you will be. But also it's also affecting your bowels. So like it's so much bigger than that.
Can I have gum or is it bad? Like
you can have gum.
Yeah, but not as a meal.
But then you have to think about it like, do I want it?
Oh my God. Okay.
Like there's nothing. You can have anything you want.
Yeah.
But then again, it comes down to like, how much do I love myself? And like, would I be willing to stay in a relationship with something that does hurt me?
Yeah.
And maybe I'll find a different kind of gum that doesn't.
Oof.
It's the same thing with all food. Mm-hmm. But I think you have to be careful. And I hate to even say that because I think even if we had any sort of eating disorder, and this is a pin that we put in earlier.
Yes. If
you had any sort of eating disorder or disordered eating in your past, I don't believe that you will always have that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be judged for the way that I shopped in the past.
You won't be here. I can tell you that.
And I love shopping, mm-hmm. but that doesn't mean buying anything.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't mean that like, I know in my mind used to think I needed to go buy something. And this is before we had the internet even. Mm-hmm. But now I don't even do it on the internet. Like sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. But
that's huge, I think.
It's not all the time, but it's not like there was a time during COVID, honestly, I think it was October of 2020. We were selling our house and we couldn't find a house to buy. Mm-hmm. And we had 30 days to vacate and we were all online. So I have 3 kids, a husband, and 3 dogs. And we had nowhere to go. And I went downstairs and I'm like, Matt, I'm freaking out. And he's like, you're ridiculous. Calm down. And he just completely ignored my feelings. And I walked upstairs. I pulled out my phone and I started like, I got this email from Zadig and Voltaire. Mm-hmm. And it was like, fall sale or something. And I was like, oh my God, it's like a healthy buffet. Yeah. It's on sale. And there was a sweater. It was $700. That was the sale price. Uh-huh. And I was like, I need that. Mm-hmm. I don't know where that money is going to come from. I'm about to buy a house. And then I started laughing at myself thinking, wait, I think I've been training for this moment my whole life.
Yeah.
I don't need this sweater. I need a yoga mat. Mm-hmm. And then I just put on like drums and like did some yoga and then started like kind of reciting to myself, I trust we'll find something. Mm-hmm. And it took me about 10 minutes to calm down. I never bought the sweater.
Okay, you needed a yoga mat that you owned already.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I was like, oh, you just were like, I'll just buy a yoga mat.
No, I just pulled it. I pulled out my yoga mat. Yeah. And I just like relaxed. And the next day we found a house to buy and it was all fine.
Okay.
And I never bought the sweater. But like progress looks different, right? Like,
yes.
So sometimes I catch myself, but then I catch myself.
Yeah. Wow. There's so much to think about, Kim. You're so good at this. There's a few more questions that I have.
Okay.
So another thing that my husband always talks about, one of the multiple meals. He's like now I'm like, okay, whatever. He's right. Another thing, now I'm not talking about myself. If there's somebody who's listening and they're like, okay, I want to lose weight.
Yeah.
What is the healthiest way to go about that? Because now my husband has this other theory that
let's hear it.
He's full of theories.
I love it.
That if you decide that you're going to reduce calories or cut your calories, that the body starts to freak out and hold on to fat, which
he's right. He's right.
Of course.
Next time he'll be here.
Well, next time he'll be hosting. He'll be working with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you lose weight then if you're holding on to the fat? Yeah. Okay. What is going on here?
Okay. So
my whole world, first of all, my Trident gum, I'm scared now.
I know. It's so good though, but
I love it.
You won't love it after you realize what it's doing.
Well, after I realize I've been gassy, that's crazy. Okay.
Feel so good about that. What were we even talking about? Okay. So basically your liver has a system called a glucostat and it is like a fuel tank. And it is constantly spitting sugar into your bloodstream. So you have about 1 teaspoon of blood sugar in your bloodstream 24 hours a day, and it's going to any cell that needs it at any time. Mm-hmm. Okay. It has a 5-hour clock. If you don't eat within 2.5 to 3 hours, it sends a signal to your brain saying to slow down all functions because it's going to run out of fuel, which would be impossible because we are like the self-healing machine, right? Mm-hmm. But it does it by slowing everything down.
Okay.
So if you don't eat when you need food, like every 3 hours, that's kind of like telling your body that you're in a famine. If you eat more than you need, you won't be hungry in 3 hours. And you're also telling your body that you're kind of storing for the winter. So either way, it holds on. So
you said this on the panel, and I remember thinking God, our bodies are so dramatic. This is so uncalled for that we do all of this.
But it needs some respect.
Obviously.
Yes. Right. And so if we started trusting ourselves around food and the way this happened the way that I was able to communicate this to my clients was seriously years ago, I was dying to get off the phone with my mom because I needed to get to Bloomingdale's to get to a sale. And she started laughing at me. Yeah. Yeah. She was laughing at me. She's like, Kim, Bloomingdale's has a sale every single week.
That's true.
I didn't know that back in the day. And
how could you?
Right.
That's not your fault.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
But when I started recognizing, sitting back and looking at it, I started saying to my clients, there's food on every corner. There's food 5 feet away. You can have food at any time. You can even carry it in your purse. No one wants to take food away from you. You can trust that it's there, but you need to sit back and see why your mind's telling you need it. Kind of sit in that discomfort.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if somebody wants to lose weight,
yes,
then they need to understand hunger and satiety.
So basically you need to be constantly fueling the body just to keep it at keep all systems go.
100%.
That was something I think when I was an athlete, I always just referred to myself as I'm a robot.
Yes.
And it just made it easier for me.
Yeah.
And so that's how I'm taking what you're saying and I'm applying it if you need the gauges in the system to stay low, you can't go on the fritz.
Yeah. Your body thrives in consistency. Yeah. It actually likes to poop at the same time, sleep at the same time, eat at the same time, all the same, everything, right? This is called your circadian rhythms. You sleep and wake, everything's the same. So we disrupt our systems.
Believe me, I've been disrupting my system kind of nonstop for 35 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Are you good to keep going for a little bit?
Yeah,
okay.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. Because we did not get to your 6 simple.
We kind of did a little.
We did a little, but when I heard that you have 6 simple rules, the first thing I was these are the 7 stages of grief. They've got to be depression. I'm okay.
Anger. We're here.
Yes. Realization. What is it? Bartering. I'm I know these steps. So what are they?
Well, how were you when you heard the word like rules? How were you? How'd you handle that?
I love rules.
Okay.
I am, which is so crazy because I'm like whatever about them, but like I set rules for myself in every like, and that I think when I was an athlete, I felt a lot of joy in being a rule breaker, kind of.
Interesting.
When in reality, the world of like which you live in is so confined. And like, if you want to be a successful athlete, there's only so much you can do. Like you can have a glass of wine, you little bad boy, you know, like you can do that. And that's me being like breaking the rules.
Interesting.
And so I got some joy out of like, that. But at the end of the day, like when you're not an athlete, you can do whatever you want and nobody's going to say anything. They don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know, it's such a weird job to have where every day is based on how you feel. Yeah. I always thought of like, if I wake up one morning and it's the morning of the Olympics and I just have a cramp, you're like fucked.
Yeah.
It's over because you had a cramp. There's no other job where the stakes are so based on like, I didn't sleep well.
I know.
What a crazy thing.
Yeah.
But so I say that because like like I said, like the rules were like the world you lived in is so small.
Yeah.
That I almost crave rules now because there aren't any.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much to talk about with even just that. I think that's actually amazing training in so many ways, as long as it doesn't make you crazy or anxious. Because a lot of people fight me on the word rules.
Do they? What do they say?
Yeah.
I don't want them. Are they afraid of them?
They think it's very triggering and in a lot of different capacities. And I bring that. I want that. I want you to feel that. I want you to have that visceral reaction. That angers me to feel this, that I have to have a rule. Because if you can't get past that, then you're never going to succeed.
I think that as an athlete, you always like you're about to, especially in my sport, like you're just going out there and you're repeating what you've done a million times. But
the reason you're doing that is so it's automatic.
Yes.
You're becoming the essence of that practice. It's like we wouldn't want a doctor who did it 10 times. We want the doctor who's performed it 10,000 times.
100%.
And so you have to keep doing it. And so you're sleepwalking, which is what we do all day, every day, intentionally or unintentionally. And that's the problem. We want to have these rules. So I really appreciate
Well, and I think like sometimes when you're talking about it, it's like that. I don't want to get into that triggering headspace of like when you're going out there and you're just going to do it. You want to go sleepwalk. You envision I think it's human nature, the worst case scenario happening. And you're like, no, stop that. Like, don't. Yeah. And as I got older, I would go, no, like, let's make it even worse. Let's make the worst case scenario even worse. You fall on everything and your pants fall off.
Yeah. Wow.
And horrible. It'd be horrible. I mean, like I said, legs were a lot bigger then. It wouldn't have been that bad.
No, right.
Maybe some more endorsements, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, let's like go all deep in. And does anything really? It's not ever going to be that bad. And
yeah, and I love the way your mind thinks. To be honest,
like I said,
I agree.
Kind of nuts, right? Like
I agree. So like if anyone's hearing that word rules, I want them to like stop and be like, oh, actually, that's only a set of values. And that's so important that I practice them every single day so I can now sleepwalk through this new set of values. Mm-hmm. That's the intention, right?
Yeah.
So rule number one, actually, before people can do rule number one, they kind of need to know where their mind is. So I love this one practice of kind of just asking yourself, where is your body? Mm-hmm. And then recognizing it's like right here in this room. Mm-hmm. And then asking myself, where is my mind? And then we all have the ability to go find our minds once we ask that. And if we're very anxious, we sometimes need to do it 10 times. Mm-hmm. Right? Because sometimes our mind is on, what your next question is or what I'm going to eat next week or how bad's the traffic going to be later, right? Mm-hmm. And our mind needs to be in our body so we can actually understand what our body needs right now. Mm-hmm. And then we move forward. The only time that we get to eat is when we're hungry. But normal eating is also like having birthday cake on a birthday, but not 2 days in a row or 3 days in a row or 4 days in a row. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Okay. So
as somebody who always avoided birthday cake, you did lose me a little bit there.
okay.
But I understand the sentiment
Yeah.
of what you're saying.
Right. So let's imagine that you have to pee right now.
Mm-hmm.
You would know that because your mind is telling you.
Yes.
And then you would use your mind to find your bladder.
Okay. Now I'm putting it together.
But
now.
you don't actually know where your bladder is. So that's the fascinating part.
That is true. I do.
Nobody really does.
Yeah.
But we know if we have to go right now.
Uh-huh.
And then, we can figure it out. But nobody gets up and goes to the bathroom. I mean, you and I are in the middle of a conversation. It's not like I would just be like, okay, I'm going to the bathroom.
Right.
Actually, maybe I would, but
but for the sake of this interview, yeah.
Right. And so if our mind says we're hungry, it's important to understand where that hunger is coming from. Is it my stomach or is it my chest?
Oh, now I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we need to do the same thing when we find our bladder that we do when we find our stomach. And we're analyzing.
Where is this coming from?
Where is this coming from? Is it food I need or is it a hug?
Mm-hmm.
And how much food? Do I need food right now? And where is the closest food?
Mm-hmm.
So rule number 1 is to eat when you're hungry, but it's to take your normal portion, to cut it in half, and to wait 15 minutes to see if you need more. So the person who asked the question, how do I lose weight healthy? That waiting 15 minutes is a fail-safe.
Mm-hmm.
So you eat when you're hungry. You know you're hungry. You're cutting your food in half. Now our portion is kind of controlled without actually controlling the portion. And the reason this is so important is if you and I went to lunch right now, and JP too,
Mm-hmm.
and we all order chicken parmesan, the chef is preparing the same order for all 3 of us. And we're all walking in with different appetites. And so it comes down to personal responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, JP could be hungrier than both of us.
Guaranteed.
Right.
Yeah.
But what if I eat the same amount as JP?
Right.
Right. So paying attention to like, how much do I need in this moment? I want to undo people feeling restricted so the other half is right there. And really, scientifically, it takes 15 minutes for the food to go from our mouth to our stomach to tell our mind that we've had enough. So we won't know for 15 minutes, which is why we all eat so fast and then we're so full because we ate so much in such a short time. And it's another 8 or 9 minutes before we're actually feeling that fullness.
Okay. I'm like, as you're saying all this, I'm like envisioning it and I'm like applying it to like how I would do this myself. And that makes a lot of sense because I do think part of the reason of why like I did gain like the 20 pounds was that I was just like, okay, like the rules are what JP is saying. Like I changed my mindset. I'm just eating what he's eating. Like at home, I joke like, you got me fat. Because I'm just eating what he's eating. Obviously, he's 6'4". So it's like the needs of a 6'4" man are different than a 5'7". Listen, before this started, we'd had to put the seats up on the chairs, right? I'm 5'7". Right. You're 5'2". It's going to be different.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, because I do at home. I am like, you did fatten me up.
Right.
He didn't, but I was not paying attention. I was just like, he's eating this, I'll eat this.
Yeah. Okay, so that's going to bring us to rule number 3. But rule number 2 is to eat what you love, but to make sure the food loves you back. And so a lot of people have a lot of labels around food, like it's good, bad, healthy, unhealthy. I shouldn't have it. I can't. Mm-hmm. We want to undo all of that. And we really want to get into the body and know, like, does this food give me gas? Does this food give me heartburn? Am I getting a headache? And like, am I loving myself enough to make some changes here? Generally, if something you love is making you sick, it's a sign your gut needs some support.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're only eating it when you're hungry. So there's no, like, a lot of people are like, you're telling me to eat cakes and cookies and like things I don't normally eat. But I'm saying to do it when you're hungry and to start with half. So there's a built-in fail safe. And also, who eats cakes and cookies when they're really hungry? If I was really hungry and you offered me cake or turkey burger, I'm probably going with the turkey burger. Doesn't mean I don't love the cake.
Yes.
But if I'm really hungry.
Yeah. When you said that, I'm like, okay, yes, I'd go with the turkey burger.
Right.
Because at first I'm like, I don't know, Kim, I might go for the cake.
Right.
But you're right. If given the choice of the 2 are in front of me.
And you're hungry.
And I'm hungry. I'm going to want to eat
something else. Something other than what you think I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's rule number 2. And rule number 3 is to eat without distraction. So we eat because of emotional reasons. We eat because the food is in front of us. We eat 30% more food just because it's in front of us. And we eat for physical cravings and we eat for hunger. And going forward, I only want people to eat for hunger.
Mm-hmm. Can people still do you, what if like people are having like the holidays and stuff?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I'm doing a talk on just food in general. And it's really interesting how to demagnetize what you just felt, because there's an expectation that I just took something from you. And that is joy loss.
Mm-hmm.
You just lost joy from something that hasn't even happened or isn't actually happening. So I'm Jewish, and last night we had Yom Kippur dinner. Mm-hmm. And what that means is that, you know, it's brisket and whatever food was around, right? We had all like the traditional Yom Kippur food.
Mm-hmm.
I only ate as much as I needed.
Right.
Trusting I can have more if I needed it. But my joy was being with my family. I didn't not eat.
I think this is going to change a lot of people's opinion and conception of like food.
I hope so.
It's changing mine.
I hope
for sure.
Because you're not meant to lose joy. I want you to love what you're eating. But eat it when you're hungry and only as much as you need, trusting you can have more later.
So if, like, let's say it is the holidays and there are these like cookies and things out there, and I am following your rule of like, I'm just like, let's have half of it or let's have a piece of it.
Starting with half. It's starting with half.
Okay. So you always keep the option open of like, you can have the other half if you want, but make that decision.
Yeah.
What do I do? Like, then do I not eat a meal later, or because I'm adding?
No, you're still needing to eat every 3 hours. Okay. And so maybe that week you're just choosing cookies and like, you know, Thanksgiving dinner, maybe you're having that 7 times in a row. What's the big deal?
Right.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Take a multivitamin that week and like.
Take a Flintstone and call it a day.
Maybe not a Flintstone, but like. Maybe. There's some things. No Flintstone.
Okay. No Flintstone.
Multivitamin. Yeah.
Okay. So that brought us to the third rule.
Yeah,
right?
That's the third. And then the fourth rule is 10,000 steps.
Mm-hmm.
So the average American gets 3,000.
I will tell you that I got I've tried to get an Apple Watch like a few times, and I just like don't like I'm like, this is a satellite dish.
Okay. Yeah.
But I got a Fitbit because it felt like a little more like analog.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm sure I'm getting, because we have 2 dogs. We walk them around the block all the time, take them for 2 like longer walks a day. And I was like, I'm surely getting 25,000 steps a day. And I almost did drop dead when I was like 3,500.
Yeah.
And like on a normal day, which that I think tracking them opened my eyes to like how not many steps.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do.
So 10,000 steps.
Yeah. So we're meant to be fidgety and we're so sedentary.
So true.
Yeah. And so the steps actually help your circadian rhythm. They like improve your mood, digestion, your sleep, and they help you maintain your weight. So we really need 7,000 minimum a day as humans. Okay. That's going to lower your risk of almost every disease by 50%. But we need 10,000 to maintain our weight.
Okay.
So the steps don't help you lose weight, but they help you maintain. You cannot maintain. Remember, those burners on the stovetop are not on without that movement.
So it's to keep a baseline.
To lose weight, it's 90% what you're eating. To maintain your weight, it's 50% food and 50% movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then now we're on
5.
Yeah.
What is it? 8 cups of water every single day.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we talk about cleanses and detoxes, and that should be called your kidneys.
Call it out.
Yeah. So
call it out. I sometimes struggle with the water too. Sometimes I just like don't drink anything.
Yeah. You got to force yourself.
I have since gotten this like giant Owala water bottle that I found like success with. And my husband does call it like the shipping container.
That's funny.
So he is right, because I got like the biggest one you could get, because obviously it was like,
do you like carrying it around?
Hate it, but I love having it.
Yeah. So it's okay. Like it has a straw, right? So you just basically can down the water.
So 8 cups. 8
cups every single day. Okay. We're not drinking enough water. Well, some people are drinking too much. We don't want to flush everything. We want to let our body do its thing. But we do need 8 cups.
Okay.
Otherwise, our liver has to kind of jump in and help out. And then we end up storing fat, body fat, triglycerides, and cholesterol. And so we just need to support our kidneys. And 1% dehydration kind of feels like the flu, and we can't think well.
Okay.
So drink some water.
Get a shipping container.
Yeah, get a shipping container. And the last rule is 7 hours of sleep. So the average American gets about 6. Mm-hmm. And as you get older, it gets harder and harder. And if you're not sleeping well, like hard to fall asleep, hard to stay asleep, or waking up not feeling rested, these are all reasons to talk to somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like that, you mean like continuous hours?
Continuous hours.
I'm like, wait. Okay.
Yeah.
7 continuous hours.
And you want to fall asleep around the same time every night. And you want, like, as soon as you start.
Strike one for me. There we go.
When you feel drowsy, put yourself to bed.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's melatonin being released. And melatonin turns into an antioxidant when you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And it cleans all your cells. So you wake up less inflamed.
Okay, which I want to be.
Yes.
I want to be as not inflamed. Peace, no inflammation.
Health. Right.
Yeah.
So sleep.
Yeah.
And if you're not sleeping well, it actually spikes your cortisol, which then also changes your sex hormones and insulin.
Mm-hmm.
So you end up gaining weight.
It's actually like, it's simpler than you think it would be while at the same time being complicated.
Yeah, but I really like your background and like tapping into how can I make myself run the best way that I can is following these rules and loving yourself enough to do that.
I think that's, for me, the biggest takeaway is that of like, you can follow the rules, but the reason you follow them is because you want to take care of the machine or yourself or whatever.
We are a machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kim, this was amazing. I've learned so much. I was absolutely right to trust a woman dressed head to toe in denim. I knew it.
So embarrassing.
No, it was so good. I'll remember it the rest of my life.
That's so funny.
But I'm so grateful.
This was so fun. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. It was absolutely my pleasure. You're welcome back any
Oh, we have to do it again with JP.
Yes. Oh yeah. You'll believe me. He'll have a lot to say. Yeah. So where we met was at the Nomi Medical Studio in Calabasas with our friend Saba and Dr. C. Shout out to both of them.
Yes.
And where you work with the both of them.
Mm-hmm.
You make sure, everybody, if you liked our conversation, that you follow her on Instagram at the Kim Shapira Method.
Yes.
And at KimShapiraMethod.com.
Yes, on all socials.
All socials.
Yeah.
Anything else? Do you want to share?
I mean, I have nothing. I mean, I have a book club starting very soon if anyone's interested in reading my book with me.
Mm-hmm.
So that if they're emotionally triggered, we can work through it right then and there. So that's coming soon and that's free.
Okay.
That's just going to be a fun thing to do.
Oh, I think that sounds very fun, actually. No gum.
No gum. We'll see.
8 cups of water. We'll see.
Yeah, no restriction.
Yeah.
Let's see how you feel.
Okay. In 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kim, thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Let me know about the gas.
I will.